What's going on, YouTube? What's going on? What's going on? So yesterday I was watching some vloggers that I watch, and I was specifically watching Luis Hermosillo's video, and he was talking about how, not having a father figure in your life kind of makes things harder, and I kind of wanted to touch on that topic. I'm getting ready to go to work, so this is pretty much a ride to work with me, but I just finished picking up some Chinese food, so I thought I'd actually touch on that topic. So this is pretty much inspired video from Luis Hermosillo. I'll leave a link to his description down below after this video is posted. But yeah, so he was pretty much saying that not having a father figure makes things harder, and to be honest, in my personal experience, I would agree, because normally when you grow up as a kid, having some type of fatherly guidance kind of paves the way on how to treat women, how to be a father, etc., and so on. And me growing up, I really didn't grow up with my dad. He did a little bit of jail time and stuff like that, but outside of that, when he came out, I seen them, but it wasn't like where I seen him like constantly. And he's still alive today. He's not gone, thank God. Hold on, got some crazy traffic going on here with a truck throwing my concentration off. Anyways, like I was saying, he's still alive today, whatever the case may be. But growing up without a dad, I wouldn't say that I grew up like missing my dad, whatever the case may be, because he wasn't around long enough for me to actually like miss him. But I did grow up, questioning, how come he's not around, or and I would think about times when I see my friends with their dads and stuff. I would question, like, it would come to mind. I'll be honest, it would come to mind. And there's a lot of things that I feel personally, it's just me, but in my opinion, that a mom can't really teach when it comes to being a male. And in a lot of situations, what females and males go through are completely different. The goods, the bads. So growing up without him, it was one of those things where, I don't know, it's a little weird. I think about it this way, because like my dad, he's not a bad person, but he's definitely not the kind of person I would want to say you would want to be learning after. He's definitely not that kind of guy. So in a weird way, I kind of see it as like, if I would have been that type of person to follow in his footsteps, maybe I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Might not be as good of a person, I don't know. But I feel like in a weird way, God has put me in a position to understand and realize certain things where it was like, yeah, you can just learn naturally on your own. So growing up, I didn't have really any father figures, and it's just one of those things where I kind of just took what my mom taught me, as best as she can, as I was growing up as a kid, where your parents normally try to carve the way to turn you into at least a decent human. I would say my mom's did a good job, doing that, the best is her abilities. But I feel like a majority of the things I've learned today, because I also have a son, so I feel like a lot of the things I've learned, I just learned naturally on my own, and just kind of like just based it off of what I feel is right and what I should do. And I've always told myself as a young teen, if I ever had kids, I'm definitely gonna do the things that my father didn't do. I don't know if that makes sense, but the things that I didn't get to witness, having time, things like that, being present, like I always told myself, like, I will do the things he didn't do. That I knew for sure. So when I had my son, it was definitely foreign to me. It was all new. And, you know, I never really had the perspective of being the child with the dad. I kind of just like skipped all of that pretty much, you could say, and was the dad with the child. So I'm actually experiencing things myself as a grown adult with my child, you know. And honestly, I wouldn't change how things turned out to be. I don't regret anything of how it's turned out. I'm actually, you know, happy that it turned the way it did. I love my son with everything in me, and he is the reason why I'm doing anything today. And, you know, my son has taught me a lot of things. He's taught me a lot of patience. He's taught me to appreciate a lot of the finer things in life that just, you know, don't cost money. Just enjoy things for what it is, you know. He's taught me a lot, you know. And whoops, I forgot to hit my signal. Good thing I was in the lane though. So it's just, you know, it's one of those things where I appreciate the path that I was on, even though at times when I was younger I felt like maybe things would have been better if, you know, my father was around more or whatever the case may be. I did try to have a relationship with him late in life, and it's just one of those things where I tried. I genuinely tried, but unfortunately it didn't work. You know, there's no bad blood. I got no hate towards him or anything, but I am the type of person that I try to surround myself around people who are constantly trying to do better for themselves, even if it's just a little. He's the type of person where he's where he's at, and not much has changed, you know. And to each his own. I'm not judging, but it's not for me. I want to be around people that's constantly trying to make changes for the better and do better, and, you know, surround themselves around positive energy, which is what I try to do, you know. So you know, I wish nothing but the best for him. For anybody in a similar situation that comes across this video, just know you're not alone. I feel like it does get easier. I feel like as long as your heart is in the right path, I think everything will balance out and not be so bad. And I mean, if I could do it, I'm pretty sure anybody could do it as long as you put your mind to it. I mean, at the end of the day, life is what you make it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of ups and downs. I still struggle with my downs more than my ups, because I feel like the downs happen more than my ups. But every day I keep pushing. That's all I can do. And honestly, my motivation stems from my son. So, you know, on the daily, I always think about him, and I'm thinking about pushing past all the stress and all the BS, you know. I really hate when cars are up my ass. One thing I can say that I've learned from this experience, you know, is if you have a heart and you care about the ones you love, you will find that right path, you know. And a lot of the inspiration of the things that I used as like common sense knowledge, and the things that I knew was like, okay, this is not good, as a, you know, this, that, and the third, when it comes to not having a father figure around, was I looked at a lot of my friends that had both of their parents and looked at how their like fathers moved, and, you know, stuff like that. And I was just like, all right, this definitely is not for me. I don't think I'll ever do this, and vice versa, you know. Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick video and kind of touch on the topic, because it, you know, when I was watching that vlog, it definitely hit home, and it sparked me to want to at least touch on the topic. With that being said, I am on my way to work, and I really don't want to go to work. My body is in so much pain from going extra hard at the gym, and if they put me on any machines today, I'm going to be hurting even more, because that requires a lot of lifting, and that's going to be very stressful for me. So pray for me, and yeah, hope everybody has a blessed, safe, good day, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. And like I always say, support to support, love is love. Peace out.